episode number 209, South by Southwest, Bitcoin, and Quick Bite tonight. So tonight's episode, we're going to do a quick bite just because we're getting ready for some traveling. One of the last days of South by, really interesting and fun day. Interesting in a couple aspects. Got to meet with the Austin crew here, and we have an event with ATX DAO tomorrow. That's going to be fun. And then we also have got to meet up with the Austin crew this morning for GM and Rise, and got to hang out with Josh the Boss. Hello, I'm Morgan, and BitBoy Jay, among a few other people, and get to talk about a handful of different things, which was really fun and interesting to do. And, you know, when you get to see people's IRL face over their PFP, pretty amazing. Today was a really good day at South by. After the GM copy meetup, got to run through the event a little bit as it was getting ready to shut down and close up. And then went to a Bitcoin meetup where the release from Human Rights Federation premiered their video, Economic Suffrage by governments over third world countries. And they talked about how the IMF and France, the French government, has been throwing economic control on South African nations. And so they sort of went through that little story there of how they've devalued the franc. And it was a good story. We'll post that video later. Sorry we had to move during the video so that it could be seen the entire time. But one of the things that was really interesting was how the use of Bitcoin is bringing more economic freedom and stabilizing people's income and the amount of transaction pieces there. Got to talk with some of the creators behind the movie and have some really cool interviews scheduled with them as well. And then lastly, as we close this night down, you know, was sort of learning of some new releases possibly of Signature Bank's deal, to be able to close the deal with Signature Bank. Only private institutions that already have full chartered banking licenses will be allowed to see the books, meaning if private equity money comes in to fund and take over, they won't be allowed to see the books and see where everything is unless they're already part of the system. And then in the same throat, it states that any operation that has any crypto affiliation has to cease all blockchain activities to be able to buy Signature. So you know that all the major players are going to be not partaking in that, and that's going to be a very interesting thing, even with mandatory bids. So it's going to be an interesting take. Tomorrow we're going to be following up with Caitlin Long and Simon Dixon to see what their thoughts are on this, and hope that it gets to a little bit of a better explanation on all of that. So some breaking news there on that. We'll follow up to see where the reality is in that, and just how sort of dirty it goes. And so with that, we're going to close tonight's quick bite. As talked about, today, Bitcoin and blockchain really brings that that independence and self-sovereignness and ownership. So we will see you on the flip side. And as we end every episode with our 2 bits, one, our words of wisdom: a closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth. And we end with the greatest joke on the face of the planet, in honor. Knock, knock. Who's there?